about you, buddy? Gonna eat my hair? Hello everyone. So Forrest struggles with directionality with noise, so he can't figure out where the noise is coming from, where the music's coming from, but here he is. Yes, we're trying to keep you out of trouble. You're pushing the computer away. We're trying to keep you away from the Christmas tree, away from the ornaments. You're so bad. Yes, you are. You're so bad. Last night, our holiday event was great with Dr. Katie and I. We had a really good time. And we discussed all the bad things this little one has done with holiday decorations and getting into everything for the holidays. Yeah, fun. Anyway, so I saw Kathy Brunei is on, and I did a consultation with her today. But she is one of, two this week, and many consultations that I've had to do recently that just kind of are amazing to me. And excuse my hair, it's very windy outside. I was out playing because it's 70 degrees and it's a little windy. Anyway, so I got consultation requests from these two people this week, but and one of them actually made the consultation request back in August, and it's taken us this long to get the veterinarian to listen to what we were saying and what we needed done. So both of these dogs, one is a young dog and one is a middle-aged dog, two totally different breeds, a small dog, a large dog. Hey, puppy, we're eating things, honey. Would you like to get your son? And so both of these dogs, the owners contacted me because their dogs had emergency surgery for stones blocking their urinary tract. And they both had very unique stones. You're not going to be able to do that. They had urate stones. Urate stones are very, very uncommon. And so when we see them, there's only two reasons that a dog could have urate stones. One reason is that they have a genetic problem. We see these in Dalmatians. Dalmatians will make urate stones. It is a genetic problem for them. It's also a genetic problem for English bulldogs, which is fairly new. I didn't know about that until I actually had a client whose English bulldog tested positive for the gene. But she did the testing because her dog had crystals in the urine. So interestingly, with both of these dogs that I worked with the owners this week, they had ammonium urate crystals in their urine, and it wasn't ever talked about or caught or didn't raise a red flag. And it should always raise a red flag because urate crystals are not common. And when they're there, they signify a huge issue. They signify that we have a genetic malfunction that we need to modify the diet or medicate for, or it signifies that the dog has a liver shunt. So dogs with liver shunts, where the blood flow that drains the urine, or the digestive system drains the bowel. When all that blood that's going through the intestines, it drains into a major blood vessel in the abdomen that then goes to the liver. And then when it reaches the liver, it branches out just like a tree. So if you think of like your big maple tree where all the big branches go out, that's what the blood vessels are supposed to do as they go, as all of this filters through the liver, and then that filters out all the toxins and purifies things and sends the waste products to the kidneys and sends the good fluid back, up to the lungs, and that's how it's all supposed to work. And if they have a shunt, instead of having their tree branch, they have a garden hose where the blood basically just shoots through the liver and it doesn't branch out and go through the filtering process, and it doesn't get detoxified. And so those dogs that have that shunt, whether it's a big shunt or a little shunt, that's going to determine whether or not they're going to make these stones. So both of these owners didn't really have any warning from their veterinarians until, poof, we've got obstructed dogs who need emergency surgery because they had stones causing an obstruction. And the one of them that contacted us back in August, and both of these dogs are acting perfectly healthy. You would never ever know that they had a problem. You would never suspect that they might have a shunt or some other problem going on. Dogs with a severe shunt, or cats with a severe shunt, they will be stunted in growth. They will be very thin. They may have neurologic problems. They may have seizures. They may be wobbly. They may act like they have a headache, head pressing in the corner. They may act like their vision is decreased. So dogs with a major shunt, sometimes they get diagnosed a little faster because they've got neurologic symptoms. But both of these dogs are acting perfectly healthy. And so interestingly, the chocolate lab that I worked with the owner yesterday, that dog, it had no symptoms of a shunt, but it did have multiple urinalysis run that showed tons and tons and tons of urate crystals over a period of 6 months. And that never raised a red flag with the veterinarian. That to me is malpractice. They just ignored it. They kept treating the dog with antibiotics for a urinary tract infection. It didn't have bacteria. It didn't have a urinary tract infection. It had a lot of crystals causing irritation. So they ignored it. And then the dog developed stones and an obstruction and had emergency surgery. And so when she wanted to do a consultation with me, I said, I will not do a consultation on this dog because she wanted a diet to stop it from making stones. And I said, I won't do a consultation on this dog unless we test for a liver shunt. The veterinarian was absolutely against it. She said, there's no way this dog can have a liver shunt. No way. She even called our office and talked to Brandon. And Brandon says, all I can tell you is Dr. Morgan is not going to do a nutrition consultation on this until a test is done for a liver shunt. So a couple ways you can do that. You can do an abdominal ultrasound. You can do a CT scan. You can do something called bile acids, which is the best test. And so it took 4 months to convince the veterinarian that that's what they really needed to do. And the owner ended up going to an internal medicine specialist, got bile acids done, got a CT scan done, and lo and behold, the dog had really significant liver shunts, and then finally was getting treated for that. So the thing is, if I were making a diet for struvite stones, triple phosphate stones in the bladder, that's a totally different diet than what you would need for an animal that's making urate stones. An animal with a liver shunt or a congenital urate stone problem needs a very different diet. They can't have any organ meats in their diet. These guys, basically, they would eat diets similar to what people with gout would have, because gout is actually uric acid buildup in the joints. This is uric acid buildup that's causing uric acid stones in the bladder. So we look for foods that are low in purines, low in uric acid. I am seeing more and more. So this was 2 I had in 1 week, which is a lot. because it's not that common a problem. However, I am seeing it more and more. And I think part of it is because we've got bad breeding, and so we're breeding dogs that are carrying the genes for this, and we're passing it on to the offspring. That's part of the problem. The one dog that I talked to today, he was born with his shunts. He's a young dog, absolutely no symptoms until he obstructed. The other one, it was an acquired shunt, so it developed it as it aged, and it's still only a middle-aged dog. So that one, we don't know why the dog did it, and I'm hoping after she sees the next internal medicine person and gets the next ultrasound that maybe we can get some questions, because that dog has some other things going on as well. Um, but this is why it is so important, guys, so important. When you get lab work run on your animals, request a copy. Always request a copy. Put it in your binder, put a picture of it in your phone, keep it somewhere, and if there is anything on there that the lab will flag that. The lab flags uric acid crystals. It says normal equals 0, and this dog has 1 plus, 2 plus, 3 plus, 4 plus, whatever it is. And if your veterinarian doesn't have a conversation with you about everything on that lab work that is abnormal, or the technician, whoever is doing the lab work with you, if they are not pointing out the things that came back as abnormal, I mean, frankly, it would be really nice if you could have a copy of the lab work in your hand while you're talking to them about it, so that you can run down the page with them. I think that would be a lot easier, and in this digital age, it would be so easy for them to email or text you the lab work. When I was in my clinic, if I had a day off, but I had lab work pending on my dogs or a case that I was really worried about, I would just have my technician snap a picture of it and send it to me by text message, so that I could see what was going on. And I think, if you request something as simple as that, it won't take them a lot of time to do. Yes, it would be really nice to get a digital copy or a paper copy, but even just a snapshot of it texted to you or emailed to you can be very helpful, so that when they're talking about things, you have it in front of you, and you can say, well, you didn't talk about his platelets that are sky high, or you didn't talk about his platelets that are bottomed out, or you didn't talk about all those crystals that are in his urine. Should I be concerned about those? Why should I not be concerned about those? Like, they're there, they're not normal. So really, really important that you are getting answers to all of those questions. That's one of the things that I really want to do with this new lab course that we're coming up with, hoping to have it ready by the beginning of January. But it's basically, you'll know what is normal and what's abnormal and why things might be abnormal. But one of the things that we are going to do as an add-on to the course are going to be whiteboard Wednesdays, where I will sit with my whiteboard, and anyone who has signed up for the course and paid for the whiteboard Wednesdays, you will be able to send in your pet's lab work, and we'll discuss it for everyone to see what's going on. We won't give your name, but we will discuss the lab work and things that are normal, abnormal, things to worry about, not worry about. And I think that will be really helpful for you, because right now there's such a shortage of veterinarians. It's so difficult to get in. I think it was the dog with the woman I was talking to yesterday. Her dog is getting lab work. I think maybe it was a different one, different consult. Dog is getting lab work. It was a different one. A dog with low platelets, immune-mediated disease. So she has to go in and get lab work done on this dog every few weeks. Well, unfortunately, the dog is on a lot of steroids, and it would be nice to be decreasing those steroids fairly quickly as the dog is responding. Her problem is, she goes in, she can't even see a doctor, and her dog gets run in the building, a technician draws the blood, and the dog gets run back out. So the dog isn't even getting exams because there's no doctors available to do the exams. And then before she leaves, she makes her next appointment, and the soonest she can get the next appointment is 4 to 5 weeks out. And unfortunately, because it's so long between appointments, it's taking that much longer to wean the dog off the steroids. So when I talked to her yesterday, I said, when you hang up from me, I want you to call that veterinary office that you're driving an hour each way to get to, and I want you to set up your next 4 appointments, and I want them to be 2 to 3 weeks apart, not 4 to 6 weeks apart, so that we can get through this process more quickly. And you know, by doing that way ahead of time, because she's not even going back for a couple of weeks, but by doing that ahead of time, she's already got that appointment. She's already in the schedule. She's not going to be told, oh, we're already booked up for the next 4 weeks. It's like, no, I'm scheduling 4 weeks out now because I know that I want to get in then. So, you know, unfortunately, because things are so crazy right now with staffing shortages, it's unfortunately leaving a lot of the work to the owners to be able to get in and get seen and to be able to decipher what's going on with your lab work and everything else. So anyway, if you ever see urate crystals in abundance on your animal's lab work, be very, very, very yeah, Terry Wood, there you go. Be very, very, very adamant that you get further testing on that, because I cannot believe how difficult it was to get a veterinarian who should know this to listen to us and say, no, we know this dog has to have a shunt. You've got to go find it so that this dog can be treated appropriately. So it shouldn't have been that difficult, but thankfully the owner stuck with it, and we got everything done. So okay, let me see if I can get us some more bells, because the bells really are very, very nice. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, I'm going to go play outside a little bit more. I get another hour of daylight. It's 70 degrees and sunny and awesome. And Hugh spent the day building, if you go to Fine and Dandy Acres on Facebook, you can see it, but Hugh spent the day building a little playground for our goats. Because what else would you do on a nice day? Build goat playgrounds. Yeah, no organ meat at all for these guys. Getting more bulldogs in rescue with it. Yeah, well, you deal with a breed that can have it, unfortunately. Bummer. All right, everybody have a wonderful day.